So how do you become a Scrum Master with no experience? It's a hard question, right? How do you become anything with no experience? Well, I was reading a LinkedIn post one day, and I saw 9 different things to help someone become a Scrum Master. And I loved this article, or this little post, and I wanted to share the information with you guys. Point number 1, learn the basics of agility. Go learn the Agile Manifesto, go read the Scrum Guide, and just make sure you understand the basics of where the Agile movement came from, and make sure you have that really down. Point number 2, read lots of books. Read lots of books. There are many books out there that will allow you to learn more about Agile. If you want to look for some of the different books below, hopefully they'll be in the description. It's a good place to start. Many of them are great authors. Jeff Sutherland, obviously, Ken Schwaber. Go look up them, see what books they've written. I'm sure there are tons of different recommendations if you've taken the classes from scrum.org. There are many book recommendations within their materials. Go check them out. Point number 3, experience working in an Agile environment. You don't need to be a Scrum Master to have experience working in an Agile environment. What you need is experience being like a Scrum Master. So whether that means coaching, resolving conflicts, helping others, being a servant leader, increasing communication, transparency, removing blockers, these are all things you can do in other positions that you can have transferable skills to become a Scrum Master. But you might have to make sure that you're focusing on how you brought that value when you're trying to pitch it eventually. Point number 4, participate in the Agile community. You definitely, if you have not, you want to be able to go and participate in the Agile community, whether that's online through LinkedIn, Scrum.org, Agile Alliance. Get yourself out there. Make sure that people know that this is your intention. This is where you're going, that this is what you want to do. Point number 5, find an Agile mentor. So finding a mentor. How do you find a mentor? Well, like the previous point, you have to get out there, whether it be approaching people on LinkedIn. It might work, it might not. You really need to go to different meetups. You need to get involved in the companies that you want to be involved in, if possible. But to find a mentor, find someone that's willing to invest in you. Who do you want to be like in 10 years, 5 years? Find that person and see if they're willing to become your mentor. Like, hey, can we get together, or can I call you, every week to see, what I'm working on, to see what I should be doing, and see if that person's willing to help you, give you more advice. I had several mentors before I got my first position as a Scrum Master. I have 3 main ones, and I think about 5 different ones not that I called on a weekly basis. There was only really 1 or 2 that I called pretty consistently. But the others I got different advice from, and I vetted questions before I went to my main mentor to ask others. So make sure to spread your questions around. If you're just trying to transition into this, it can be hard. But you can do it. And there are people, the Agile community is so many great coaches, so many great people in it. When I first attended a meetup, I was so blown away by the amount of people that were willing to talk to me, willing to tell me more, that were patient with my ignorance and my lack of knowledge at the time. And looking back, I was amazed at just all the love that they showed me. So again, find an Agile mentor. It shouldn't be too hard. The whole community is full of coaches. We can do this. It's just a matter of finding the person with the heart to do so and the right amount of time to be able to give to you. But make sure you negotiate, don't take up too much of their time, and be respectful and be thankful, and try to figure out some way to serve them as well. Maybe it can be a mutual thing. Point number 6, volunteer. Get involved. See where you can help out or serve in the community, whether that be helping a meetup, clean up, or set up, depending. Whether that be helping at a conference, whether that be, whatever. Just get involved. Get out there. Go out and do something. You can't just become or transition careers just by staying in your home applying to a black hole on a website. It's just not going to work. There's people out there that do have the experience out there, and what I'm trying to help you or anyone watching this to do is to make sure that they have the understanding they need, that what they're up against, and how to position themselves so that if you want to become a Scrum Master, you can. Point number 7, lead by example. So lead by example. And what I mean by this is practice the values of Scrum, of commitment, courage, focus, openness, and respect. Make sure that you're embodying those and that anyone who's watching you knows that you live those out. And it's not a matter of like, hey, and that was courage or that was commitment, in the way that you're acting, but make sure that it's sincere and that you're building these things into your character more and more each day so that when you go into a Scrum Master interview, that it's very sincere, that it's not like, yes, I want to be a Scrum Master, that's why you called me, that's why we're here in this interview, but that you are sincere about it. And if they can really tell that, then you're one step closer. Point number 8, keep asking powerful questions. So keep asking questions, ideally powerful ones. And I say that to say that you're on the start of a journey. You're wanting to become a Scrum Master. That's great. There are many, many, many different questions out there. And like the start of any journey, there's thousands of them. So just keep asking the questions. Go inspect and adapt. Keep iterating on yourself, the questions you have. Keep learning. I say it at the end of almost every video. Keep on learning. If you're not growing, you're dying, right? So ask questions. Get the answers. Keep growing. Point number 9, remember to have an agile heart. So when I say remember to have an agile heart, what I mean is when the guys sat down and wrote the Agile Manifesto, they were trying to figure out a better way to do software and a way that was sustainable. And so make sure that whenever you're working, you're caring about the people that you're around, whether that be the developers, stakeholders, product owners, whatever title they have, just any individual that's in front of you, make sure that you're caring about them. Make sure that you're trying to help them work in a sustainable pace and that you really care about their well-being, their mental health, etc. It says a lot when I can sit across from a person and they understand and know that I care about them and I want them to be successful as much as possible. And I feel like that's something that's really helped me in my transfer to becoming a Scrum Master over the last 2 years. So make sure, it sounds stupid, but just make sure to show you care somehow. Make sure they know that you have them in mind and that you are there standing in front of them wanting to serve them as much as possible.